What is the single most consequential mistake made in history? Dr. Alexander Fleming leaving his lab for a 2-week vacation without cleaning the lab. Governor of Uttar, Inalkuk, ordering the execution of a Mongol trade caravan sparked the Mongol invasion of the Middle East, ending the Islamic Golden Age and devastating both the population and infrastructure. You can make an argument that the region still feels the pain from the wounds of that conflict. King Władysław III really should have waited for Lord Hunyadi to return from his charge on the flanks before he charged up the center towards Murad's command tents. Had he done so, the 13th Crusade would have been successful, and as a consequence we may never have seen the fall of Constantinople, the expansion of the Ottoman Empire, or the subsequent maritime exploration of Africa and the Americas in an attempt to find a maritime route to the Indian subcontinent. Imagine how different the history of the world could have been had that one young king shown just a little bit of restraint. History-wise, Cassius killing himself thinking the entire battle was lost. Without him it was all over, but if he would have lived to fight another day and him and Brutus would have won the Civil War, it would have drastically changed history. Everything-wise, whenever the last universal common ancestor of all life became whatever came next. An honorable mention: the iron content in spinach was mistakenly assumed to be very high since the analysts put the comma in the wrong place. A lot of people still think spinach is one of the foods the highest in iron content. It's not. Some guy named Genghis Khan sent us an emissary. Just kill him. You sure? Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? Thank you everyone for all the replies I woke up to. I'm having a great time reading all the responses and learning a lot. Easy. Development of the nuclear bomb. It is the most likely doomsday scenario that can become a reality. And it can happen within an hour or less. It can happen at literally any moment. We're living on a ticking time bomb. Putting lead in gasoline. Well, that or the fall of the Roman Empire. America might be a vastly different country had Lincoln not been assassinated. Hitler starting war with Russia, even after his generals told him not to. That fucking fish that just had to go on land and breathe air. 'Cause of that, I gotta be at work dealing with bullshit all day. In the beginning the universe was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move. Something not recorded in history. Splitting the atom might really come back to bite us in the butt. The father of Emperor Wilhelm II to decide to smoke, causing cancer, an early death, and thus no time to realize his lenient, pro-British attitudes. It might have prevented World War I. Historians are not 100 agreeing, and thus prevented World War II, the Cold War. When that guy shot the gorilla and pushed us all into the Biff Tannen as president, timeline and Back to the Future. UK not rearming quickly enough after World War I. Christopher Columbus using the wrong units of measurement, leading him to believe the Earth was small enough that he could reach India by sailing west. The Germans, during World War I, sent a certain evil Russian man living in Switzerland into Russia, believing he would destabilize the country, rather than just having him executed. That man's name? Vladimir Lenin. Adding lead to gasoline in the 1900s. Not letting a man in art school. Discovery of fire seems to be the most consequential. Social media. The Native Americans being laid and nice to the colonizers. If Lee parents hadn't stashed their failed attempt at sauce in a barrel and then tried it a long time later for no good reason, the world would be without Worcestershire sauce. The burning of the Library of Alexandria. After the failed assassination attempt on Archduke Franz Ferdinand, his driver got lost on his way out of town, and went back past the same spot where the assassination attempt took place. There he paused to try to get his bearings, and one of the failed assassins, Gavrilo Principes, shot and killed the Archduke, setting in motion World War I, World War II, Russian communism, the Cold War, and the entire rest of the 20th century. Aren't we gonna talk about the creation of synthetic plastic? Now here we are in this age, still living with the same old plastic that have long been buried since the day they were created. Not coming down harder during Reconstruction. Everyone leaving MySpace for Facebook. I was 35 when my then GF, apropos of nothing, said to me, if I ever tell you something is nice or fine, it isn't nice or fine. And my previous 4 decades with the fairer sex imploded in on me. When the Black Plague was just getting started, the Catholic Church blamed cats as the source of the plague, as they saw cats as evil, and thus a product of Satan, and called for the massacre of all cats. This allowed the rat population to explode, and more importantly, the fleas they carried to explode, causing the Black Plague to suddenly worsen and infect all of Europe, starting a land war in Asia, letting New England get Brady in the 6th round. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, sparking World War I and altering global history. Chernobyl and its effect on anti-nuclear. Depending on your outlook on the subject, when humanity mutually discovered that we could ferment things and create alcohol which gives a buzz when drunk. How many deaths in human history have been caused by or influenced by alcohol? Countless numbers surely. Alcohol-related illness, alcohol-induced fights, murder, drink driving, death from doing stupid shit due to drink, the list goes on. On the other hand, I love beer, so I'd say it wasn't a mistake. Overlooking the droid attack on the Wookiees. Letting Lenin travel to Russia. Your application to art school has been denied. I'd say that after defeating Germany in World War I, France, the UK and the US asked for absurd reparations, including debts that drained money and power from Germany and created resent. It also led to a situation where Germany could not drive its economy without absurd inflation, and both resent and lack of resource gave the Third Reich a strong political and social grip that then turned into World War II. Should the debt be less painful, Germany could have rebuilt properly. Rest is history. In World War II, there was a mission to destroy a Nazi V-2 development site using a remote-controlled bomber as a bomb itself. The ground crew made a mistake in the wiring of the bomb, and 2 minutes after the safety pin was pulled, the bomb detonated in mid-air, killing the onboard crew before they were able to bail out. The pilot of that aircraft was Joe Kennedy Jr., family heir apparent who early on was groomed for a run at the presidency. As a result, his brother John F. Kennedy was thrust into the spotlight, and his father's full power and influence was turned to having him elected president. Adding tetraethyl lead to gasoline. The underperformance of JFK's limo driver. What's that? Some loud bangs, the president is clutching himself and grimacing, and someone 3 feet away has just shouted, "My God, they're going to kill us all?" Even though there's an open freeway right in front of me, I'd better slow this limo all the way down while I get to the bottom of this mystery. Invading Russia and not being prepared for the winter. Twice.